Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Knox County Commission Rules Committee for Monday, April 20th, 2026. Ms. Haley Wilson from the clerk's office is here. Would you kindly call the roll?
Commissioner Walls.
Present.
Commissioner Garrett.
Present.
Commissioner Hill.
Here.
Commissioner Thompson.
Here.
Commissioner Frazier.
Present.
5 members are present.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item 2, amendments and additions to the agenda. Does anyone have anything? All right. Moving on to number 3, approval of minutes from the previous meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Durrett, a second by Commissioner Thompson. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Minutes are approved. Agenda item 4, public forum. We don't have anyone signed up to speak. Moving on to number 5, discussion and consideration of any late additions. I did not receive any. Does anyone have any currently? Nothing there. Moving on to agenda item number 6, discussion and consideration of amending Rule 6, miscellaneous, Section E, honorary resolutions, proclamations, and discussion items to include a definition of presentations for legislative agendas. Commissioner Durrett, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioners, if you will look in the packet, because I know in our last month's meeting, because that was last month, right? Yes. In our last month's meeting, there was some issue over what would, I'm sorry, I'm looking at, so that's the original language. What would be considered county business. The previous definition that I had, what I had originally brought to the Rules Committee said presentations on an agenda are informal items limited to factual or background information related to county business or matters within the county or the commission's jurisdiction, and may be given by commissioners, county staff, and invited presenters as authorized, blah, blah, blah. And then there are also issues with that. There are just issues with that language. So I have gone back and revised the definition to be the one included in your packet. Presentations on an agenda are informational briefings provided to the commission for the purpose of conveying factual or background information relevant to matters before the commission. Presentations are to be provided by county staff and invited presenters and not commissioners. A commissioner may request that a presentation be included on the agenda or may sponsor an invited presenter. Presentations do not require a vote of commission and do not express the views of the commission as a whole. Presentations are not intended for deliberation or debate and are conducted in accordance with the agenda and established meeting procedures. So I changed the language to that, to excluding commissioners at presentations for several reasons. One, we follow Robert's Rules of Order. Technically, commissioners shouldn't be heard at all unless called upon by the chair. We are there to make motions. We are there to debate those motions or the substance of whatever is on our agenda, and namely resolutions and ordinances, and we are there to vote. And that's it. Nowhere in Robert's Rules does it say we are there to provide informational presentations. So technically it would violate Robert's Rules of Order. And so if a commissioner wishes to speak to or address an issue, they can bring it in the form of a resolution or make that point during a debate of something else that's on the agenda.
Could they also bring it under other business as well?
Yes, other business. But then, that can, that's where we can start getting a long list of things that still don't necessarily require commission to be involved. But yes, technically, I guess I'm looking at our law director, but.
Well, other business is a catch-all.
Yeah.
We don't have any rules that govern other business.
Right, except for, discussion items are defined already, and it's under the presentation definition that in our packet. It says discussion items on the agenda may be any topic that a commissioner believes is important for the commission to discuss, but again, does not require a vote and does not express the views of the commission as a whole. So,
It could fall there.
it's a catch-all. But when we're talking about substance in our agenda, any kind of informational presentation technically is a violation of Robert's Rules.
Commissioner, do you have any questions or comments?
Say that last statement again, please. That last.
Informational presentations technically violate Robert's Rules of Order.
Okay.
Correct?
Yeah.
By
They do.
commissioners.
By commissioners.
By
By commissioners.
the body. That's,
If it's not directly relevant to something on the floor.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we're there to speak to matters on the floor, and that's it.
it is not a discussion item. I mean, if we're not
Correct.
in discussion on an item in the agenda. Okay.
Well, and even then, if you go to our rules, on which we've never really had a reason to implement it, but we have a time limit. We have a 5-minute time limit for an initial remark, and then a 3-minute follow-up. And that's it.
Yeah. No, I'm familiar with Roberts and.
No, I mean,
Chair.
those are in our commission rules.
Oh.
We've never we've never really felt the need to enforce it. It wasn't like somebody was hijacking it, but that doesn't mean that it won't happen in the future.
Okay.
Any other comments? I like that we're bringing forth the definition of presentations. It's something that was absent in the commission rules, and so this is really good that we're putting this in for clarity. Commissioner Thompson, you have a comment?
I did. Regarding Robert's Rules, overall, how strictly do we abide by Robert's Rules because I'm looking at a presentation and say a commissioner had expertise on something, then there wasn't necessarily a group or a organization that would make a presentation on it, but it was just for information purposes. Would that then not be allowed for a commissioner to give that presentation?
Well, Commissioner, I feel like if we were in need of that commissioner's expertise, it would be because there is a resolution or an ordinance on the agenda regarding that subject matter, and then they obviously could speak to that.
Okay.
That would 100% be appropriate. But during the debate or
And we could also make a motion in the middle of the meeting to suspend the rules to allow for something if we did feel like it was, that would come up for a motion that would be voted on. If it was deemed necessary. Okay.
But if it was deemed necessary, if it was in fact a commissioner, let's take, it's very familiar for me. So let's take when Commissioner Jay had the double poll stuff on our agenda. And with me working as a telecom employee. That, I wouldn't, me personally, give a presentation in the presentation portion of the agenda under this rule. But I could easily answer questions during debate once that item was up for discussion. Sure. I could easily, offer history. I can come back later and provide information. But the main thing is because it was a subject on the floor that was being discussed by the body. It wasn't just something brought out of the blue, correct?
Sure. And I appreciate you bringing that in because I'd forgotten about Commissioner Jay's
that would fall
presentation.
under this as well, because
And so he would not have been able to give that presentation on polls because it was not relevant and on an item.
it wasn't on it when he gave that presentation on polls and kind of the progress. That was, correct me if I'm wrong, I think after the ordinance had failed potentially, but the resolution had been postponed.
I think so.
Had he brought it as part of his discussion and handed it out during the debate of the resolution, it might have been a different situation. He could have done it then, but as a standalone presentation,
Sure.
no, that would also fall as just informational only. We could bring it up during debate.
But had a utility company been there to do the presentation, that would have been perfectly fine.
Correct, and been invited to, or,
To do
yeah. Because typically on those kinds of things, we sponsor those presentations.
Right.
We as commissioners.
Sure.
So that would have been good. Well, even if I had been asked to give a presentation, I would have not because of the lines
Right.
the delicate line I have to walk. But I could have easily had someone from our company come give a presentation to explain those processes and that kind of thing. So that's what this does.
Okay.
But those, in my recollection, in my 6 years, have been the only 2 times presentations have been given by a commissioner where the information was not
A part of the
a
agenda.
part of the agenda as a resolution or an ordinance.
Commissioner Oster.
On the, and thank you for allowing me to speak, on that, if a commissioner has something they want to say, they can always do it under other business,
Correct.
correct? So
Yeah.
that could be their 5-minute time that they get their opportunity. So just making that point, that they still get.
Yeah, there's still the catch-all.
It doesn't
Other
shut
business.
any commissioner down from speaking.
No, it doesn't.
Right.
It just ensures that when we're into the business, we're dealing with the business.
Makes sense.
Commissioners, any other questions or comments? If there is no more discussion, I'll look for a motion.
I make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Durrett, a second by Commissioner Hill. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. So this rule change will go before the full commission at our next agenda. Motion passes. All right.
When you say next agenda, you talk about this month or next month?
Next month. Sorry. She's
like,
like, wait, yes. Now, so our May agenda. All right.
We don't have to expedite this.
Agenda item number 7, other business. Is there any other business to come before the rules committee?
I would just like to, if I might, since we have legal here, in regard to our rules, there's been some talk about veto powers. And I am asking you if something is brought by our mayor and the commission vetoes it, or the commission overrules it, if a resolution is brought to us, sponsored by our mayor, okay, and the commission fails to pass it,
Right.
all right, then is it correct then that resolution can go back to the mayor and he can override?
The legislative function is with you, okay? So nothing can pass without you. The mayor's power is to veto something you pass. But if the mayor sponsors a resolution, it's no different than if I were to sponsor a resolution, the sheriff, or anybody else. Ultimately, it's your choice, it's your vote. The mayor, if he doesn't like a resolution, can veto it, but it still has to be passed by the county commission. And once it's vetoed, you can override the veto. But the mayor has no legislative authority at all. He can't pass resolutions.
Oh, but he can overrule a veto.
No,
No.
I mean,
First
he
of all,
can overrule the county commission, I'm
he can
sorry.
veto, but we can overrule the veto.
Exactly. That's how,
Okay.
if I can only remember it happening one time, maybe it's happened when I was on the bench, but during the time I've been in this office, it's only happened one time that I've ordered.
Okay. So,
And it's a 2/3 vote on to override the veto.
I think it's a majority plus one.
Yeah, it's majority
It's just majority plus
yes,
one,
if
so
you
it's
could
just
check,
7.
if you could check on that, please.
Yeah, I believe it's a majority plus one.
Oh.
So an ordinary resolution requires 6 votes, so if it gets
7.
vetoed, 7 votes would
Okay.
override the veto.
So anything that is passed by our commission, regardless of who brings it, our mayor has the authority initially to veto
Yes.
our vote.
Yes.
And the way that is corrected is coming back to the commission with a majority plus
Plus
one to override a veto. And can that come back? Is there anything, presented, outside of the scope we're talking about that the mayor has an absolute,
No, there's no,
Power.
he has no absolute veto.
all right,
The mayor's veto on a piece of legislation or a resolution ordinance is fully overridden by a majority plus one county commission vote, usually at the next meeting.
all right, thank you. I was needing some clarification on that with some rhetoric going around. All right, thank you.
Moving on to 8, schedule next meeting. You all want to look at our calendars? Quarterly. Go to June, July?
August.
July?
July?
Shoot, that's hard to believe.
July 20th?
Sure. No? Yeah, maybe.
We'll be here.
I know we'll be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll do that.
All right.
Let's
Same
do July 20th, 2 o'clock,
2 o'clock?
Same location?
same location.
Same
And closer to time, if we have,
Same back channel.
if the agenda
right there.
gets heavier, we can look at the times. If we need to flex it to just 30 minutes, we can do that as well. All right, so next meeting, July 20th, 2 p.m., right here. Agenda item number 9, have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. I have a motion by Stewart, a second by Hill to adjourn. All in favor?
Yeah.
We are adjourned.
See?